but I'm making a drink right now. I'm not gonna introduce myself. What's for dinner? Thanks for tuning in. Sorry. You have to have a Bloody Mary with a frittata. So we're using Tito's vodka and our somewhat homemade mix from last week, but we are gonna add some more Worcestershire sauce. The mix, it is strained tomatoes, horseradish, lots of horseradish, salt and pepper, Worcestershire, and I can't remember what we said last week. Pickles juice. So a little bit of pickle juice. And I like lots of Worcestershire. It's definitely a chunky mix. The big one. One of our dearest friends had made a request for me to make a frittata on a cooking video, which is actually a great idea to do right now because you can put anything in a frittata. And there are a lot of local eggs available, so hopefully everyone can find eggs. I also wanted to highlight where we're getting a lot of our stuff right now, and we are lucky enough to have some great small farms that are opening up their availability for deliveries and curbside pickup. So this week we got a delivery from Chesapeake Bay Farms, including scrapple, their hot pepper jack cheese, and egg, 24 eggs actually from them. And then we have, we're gonna use some spinach from Chesterfield Heirlooms, which I ordered online and picked up today, and some microgreens from Splendid Acres. On our way back from picking up our produce and yogurt, stopped by the Masterpiece Farms to pick up some beautiful flowers, which they have on a cart out front. Always something beautiful. So the nice thing about a frittata is basically you can dump everything into a cast iron skillet, saute whatever you want, meat, veggies, herbs, and then add the eggs in. So right now, with all of us dealing with maybe some limited supply of certain things, assuming you can get eggs, then you should be good to go, because any produce that you like, sausage, scrapple, ham, bacon, if you prefer, frittatas, you can put almost anything in them. So of course, I start with garlic and onion, and I would put peppers in it if we had some, but we don't have any peppers right now, which makes me a little sad. So maybe I'll just put some crushed red pepper in. So garlic and onion, I'm out of peppers, but I think what I'm gonna do, because I saw it on Vince's Yoga Vibes cooking show, where he put crushed red pepper in the pan with the olive oil at the beginning. So I think I'm gonna try that. 3 cloves of garlic. So if you have other veggies you wanna use, like if you were to put in peppers or carrots or anything, you would wanna put them in with the onion, as I'm crying. Since we're gonna be just using spinach, we can put that in after the eggs start cooking, or I can mix it in with the eggs. We're gonna be putting cheese in this, so I'm gonna grate the cheese. Yeah, man, for 70 years, Chesapeake Bay Dairy has been bringing consumers grade A milk. That's awesome. And they have a bunch of cheese to choose from. All sorts of good flavors. Definitely give them a try. That we're trying to start using whole cheese and not pre-bought shredded cheese, because there's less ingredients in them, but this will be good. Big pieces of spinach. I don't want to put them in whole, but I don't want it to be too small of pieces, so I'm just gonna roughly cut. One of the other things we got at Chesterfield is mini bok choy, which I'm excited because the last stir fry we made with baby bok choy, and it was so good. And I was like, how am I gonna get more of this? And they had it on their menu. But they have a bunch of things. They put out their list. Go to their website and sign up. All right, so we're gonna start with the egg mixture. When you're scrambling eggs, I know some people like to add milk, some people like to add water. I sort of do whatever we have. So, you know, it's been a month since we've all been in self-isolation, social distancing, whatever you call it. I know everyone's sort of dealing with it in their own way. It's been hard for us because our business is based on bars and restaurants and being out and about. I have some work because I also do websites, so I can do that from home. But for recording videos, that always depends upon events and gatherings of a lot of people. So it's been tough. which is why we're bringing you these cooking videos. But if you have any ideas, anything you would want to document, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love feedback. So I'm using a whole dozen eggs because there's 4 of us and leftover frittata is awesome. It's a healthy dish. Eggs are good protein, especially when you're buying local. And then adding the greens into it definitely is a good way to get some much needed nutrients. I just put a little splash of milk in. I like to make a game of it and break up all the yolks first. Salt and pepper, a little more salt. All right, Chesapeake Bay Farms butter, cast iron skillet. I like butter, so I can't go out and see my friends. I'm gonna eat butter. So butter in the cast iron skillet on a little above medium heat. Gonna let that get warmed up. I'm gonna put some red pepper flakes in. Might actually add a little olive oil too, just to get a little extra goodness going in there. Oh wow, that is super aromatic. Oh. Yummy. I wanna get the onion and garlic in and get that all started together. Oh, but you can just like smell the butter too. You know what I mean? Like I feel like cooking in butter just has such a good smell. And today's apparel brought to you by Viking Tree, located in downtown Berlin. Now that the pan's nice and hot, I'm gonna mix up the eggs again. I'm gonna add the cheese and the spinach to the egg mixture. All that, lots and lots of cheese. That's funny how a dozen eggs doesn't look like that much. Now, the key is to try to spread it out before it cooks too much, just so the cheese and spinach is, or whatever you end up putting in your frittata. Oh, that looks so good. So there's definitely a lot of spinach in this one, but like I said, we have a lot and I want to use it and it's good for us. So I'm gonna let this cook on the stove for a little bit and then we're gonna stick it in the oven to finish it. So like on the stove, you just cook, you look for it to get the edges, like where the egg is cooked on the edges. I have the oven set to 400 and then I stick it in the oven and then I just sort of keep an eye on it, like put it in for 10 minutes and see if it's cooked through. Sometimes I'll top it with cheese so the cheese will cook on top of the egg and veggie mixture. It's always an experiment. I don't cook with recipes, remember? So for me, it's like, oh, okay, cool. That worked, that didn't. It gives us something to do during this time and drink Bloody Marys. Dun, 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 dun. Did I ruin that? So there we go. Looks really pretty. The eggs fluffed up nicely. The cheese melted. So I'm gonna just slice it like a pie, which makes for great leftovers. We used to host brunches on a regular basis with our friends, and we have not done one in a really long time, which makes me sad. But anyway, frittatas are just such a good thing to make for that because you can make them vegetarian or you can add meat to them. So you can, serve a variety of diets. It's just good. So anyway, I'm gonna top this. Like I said, I've never used microgreens before and we've ordered through Splendid Acres, and I just thought that would be a good thing to put on top of the frittata. I'm gonna save some for stir fry this week as well. Oh, today? Yeah. Not too bad. A little bit of burn on the bottom, but like I said, it sort of makes a crust, which I think is good. And once you get the initial servings out, it's easy to get the rest out. So. If it weren't for quarantine, that's not the right thing. If it weren't for alcohol, it wouldn't make, all right. You have to listen to it also.